Do you know what makes Sea of Thieves like no other game? It's the balls-to-the-wall action of crews fighting over treasure and reveling in victory, getting to take home a stinking pile of great gold for your efforts. The threat of other players is where the difficulty comes from. World events offer that thrill. For a time, skull forts were the action you wanted, where they would only spawn every 3 hours, where whole servers would bitterly fight over them. As new ways, better ways, to make gold were brought in over the first 18 months, this rush was diluted over time. After we discussed some rather disappointing updates last time, we have a very exciting update today. The update that made PvP amazing again, Fort of the Damned. Fort of the Damned took everything we loved from the original Skull Forts, added an extra layer of difficulty, and turned the loot up to 11 with some great high level loot, Reaper chests, and of course, the elusive funny blue chest. Even though it's green, fight me. I would go so far as saying Fort of the Damned was seasonal size and was only a monthly update, so we got a decently meaty episode. Fort of the Damned launched on the 16th of October 2019, marking the second Halloween themed update Rare has given us. Instead of making us light beacons with funny coloured flames, we would now have to gather them and a ritual skull to start a world event, which also marked the first world event that could be spawned on demand. The objective of the Fort of the Damned was to gather the 6 Flames of Fate by dying to lightning, sharks, fire, poison, skellies, and another player. You had to place them around your ship in the lanterns and then obtain a ritual skull to begin the event. We'd have to head over to the newly marked Fort of the Damned, which had replaced Old Boot Fort in the Northern Ancient Isles. Yes, this would also mark our first major map change, with Old Boot being sufficiently changed. The lore reason was that Stitchagem had used the Dark Relics to weaken the veil at the fort, much like we've seen today in the current adventures. This allowed parts of the Sea of the Damned to come through into the Sea of Thieves. Starting the voyage would cause a skull to appear over the fort, this time with glowing red eyes, so everyone knew it was the Fort of the Damned and not a regular fort. The encounter included waves of skeletons, but this time with a twist. These new skellies would be like the shadow skeletons with different colours to match the 6 Flames of Fate. You'd have to take a Flame of Fate from the statues around the middle room and use it to defeat the skeletons. These new enemies were known as the Shadows of Fate. There were 12 waves in total, with a wave starting out with 1 colour of skeletons, then after wave 4 it would be 2 different ones, and then 3 different versions after wave 8. On the final wave, instead of a captain spawning, it was a new sort of reused enemy. Gideon Greymarrow from the Revenge of the Morningstar Tall-Tale is summoned in a ghostly corporeal form, with a shipload of health and the ability to summon Shadows of Fate to back him up. This was the first time we had Skeleton Lords as bosses outside of Tall-Tales and would be the standard going forward. If you managed to defeat Greymarrow despite a stupid health pool, then you would get a key to the vault. As you can imagine, being left alone while doing these was impossible, and these world events were absolute carnage. Be it whole servers having a battle royale, alliances betraying each other, or awesome tuck plays, the Fort of the Damned brought PvP back into the fold, with no real tools added as well. When I returned to the seas for this update, I made the mistake of starting the event with my friend who just started playing. This was a huge mistake. We had a 5-ship battle royale where the fort loot was dished out and separated between most of the crews, and I can't even remember who got the Athena. It was wild, albeit really enjoyable despite the loss. Even as recently as a couple months ago, we've had a several galleon battle for the fort, with our crew coming in to beat the other crews off for a sweet steal. Moving on. Regardless, Rare took a world event and juiced it up, making people want to fight again. I will always argue world events are some of the best content to add to Sea of Thieves, especially when you can't cancel them when you're being sunk. I'm talking about you, Legend of the Veil. If you wanted to grind these, you could stack them with Skullseeker Voyages from Duke, which offered a variety of methods of obtaining ritual skulls. This allowed you to stack them, provided you retained the Flames of Fate. These are the sort of updates that exemplify what makes the game so fucking special, and Rare need to focus on this as a pillar of the game, not catering to day one players who have so much ahead of them. Along with this, Rare did provide some nice rewards too, with a variety of damned items for completing the Fort of the Damned and the associated commendations. These weren't a full set, but a variety of different items that were gorgeously designed, such as the Jacket of the Damned and the Lantern of the Damned. On top of this, Rare released a brand new instrument, the Banjo, marking our first new instrument since Hungering Deep. This included a variety of banjos you could buy from equipment shops, and of course, banjo versions of the 5 shanties already available. But wait, there's more. They dumped a whole lot of cosmetics for purchase into the regular stores, and these weren't like the recolours we see today. The main event was a lot of new pirate cosmetics suited for female pirates. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the cosmetics would be considered unisex, but feminine style was non-existent, so Rare added skirts, tops and dresses. We also received underwear dyes, new vibrant hair dyes, and of course some exclusive two-tone hair dyes for Pirate Legends. These are the sorts of cosmetic changes I would love to see each season. While my pirate looks questionable in some of these feminine clothes, they do look great on female pirates. I would kill for a return to form, with the garish stuff taking a well-deserved rest for a while. The black market got a refresh too, with some more deep ocean crawler items, wild rose stuff to finish the tall tale set, more fearless bone crusher stuff, and the goated whaling barnacle clothing. The Redcoat Executive Admiral stuff also began appearing in the black market, adding another recolor into the fray. The Pirate Emporium got its second refresh, with some awesome cursed pets and outfits for them as the main event. And these sorts of items remain the standout from the Emporium to this day. I can't bless these enough. It also saw some more emotes and the Cutthroat ship set based on the rare IP, Killer Instinct. I like the Emporium this month overall and stayed very much within its lane. As for the roundup of small changes and fixes, Arena got much needed sloops, which made getting into the action easier without the need for a crew of 4. This was coupled with 6 new locations to battle it out. Finally, we saw some balance changes, with the cursed chests being worth more when turning in, and lightning being more likely to hit you when you're holding a sword. The full list of notes is in the description if you want to take a look at all of them. Overall, Fort of the Damned brought Sea of Thieves back from a very long content drought and brought back the fierce fights we all know and should love, with arguably a smart repurposing of older content. There's a reason people will flock to the Fort of the Damned even today, as the legacy still lives on, despite there being better ways to make money. I would go as far as to argue this monthly update rivaled some seasons, particularly one that was trying to recapture that magic. On a very brief note regarding seasons, Season 7 has now been delayed by 5 weeks, meaning it will launch in 8 weeks' time as of this video. Unfortunately, we may be in for quite a drought over the next 2 months, but we'll see if adventures are enough to cut the mustard. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, like and subscribe. How did you feel about Fort of the Damned? Please let me know down in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and as always, destroy Golden Sands.